Hey y'all, how's everybody doing today? And we're here, back porch cooking and reminiscing. And as y'all know, we're the Morgans, and we're happy to have y'all back here with us today. So today we're going to be making Miss Audrey's twist on Southern macaroni salad. It's a great side dish. It goes well with pretty much anything that you're cooking. Um, she made this in the restaurant and people loved it. It just about got to the point where it was selling as well as their potato salad did in the restaurant. So we're going to show y'all how to make that today in just a minute. So y'all stick with us and we'll be right back. All right, y'all. We've got all of our ingredients here today, and first thing we've got is we've got 3 cups of cooked macaroni noodles. And we've drained these, and you cook them to whatever preference that you've got. If you like them a little al dente or however you like them, soft or whatever. So that's the first thing that we did was that we cooked our 3 cups of macaroni noodles. So we've got those ready. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to mix kind of our wet ingredients together. And before we get into mixing those ingredients, give y'all a little history here on um, my first introduction to macaroni salad. When my uncle Frank, that lived in Ohio, we would go up and visit with them during the summer, and he would make a macaroni salad. Well, as a kid, I'd never had macaroni salad, but got up there visiting with them and uh, ate his macaroni salad, and I've loved it ever since. Again, this is Audrey's twist on macaroni salad. So it's going to be a little bit different than my uncle's was, but uh, still, it's going to be a really good macaroni salad. So, as I said, we're going to start kind of with the wet ingredients. So, the first thing we've got is a cup of finely diced red onions. So that's 1 cup of diced red onions. So we're going to just put that in that bowl right there. Let's get all of them out there because we want all of them in there. All right, got that. Now the next thing that we're going to put in is this is 2 ribs of celery that has been diced very fine. So we're going to put that in there. Get all that out. All right, got that done. All right. Next thing we're going to put in, and we have incorporated our dill relish, and we did use dill relish, but there's only a half a tablespoon or half of a teaspoon of dill relish. As I've told y'all many times before, I look at the TSP and I always get confused, but it's a half of a teaspoon of dill relish. And then we've got 2 tablespoons of yellow mustard. And I'm going to put this recipe in the description for you so that y'all can follow it along without having to worry about me messing up and saying the wrong thing. All right, so we're going to put that in there. And it really doesn't matter how the steps that you use to get this put together, just as long as you get it put together. I'm going to take my smaller spoon here and get this mustard out, because the next thing we're going to put in it is going to be our mayonnaise, and we have got 1 full cup of mayonnaise. So we're going to put that in there. And I don't know if y'all can see it over there or not, but now we use Hellman's mayonnaise. Sometimes we use Duke's, but today we're using Hellman's. All right, so that's got all of that in there. So we're done with that. Now, We're gonna mix all this up, kind of get it all incorporated a little bit. And now, back when I was younger and I made this, I just threw everything into the bowl with my macaroni noodles. I didn't bother pre-mixing it up like this, but this is how Audrey's always done it, so this is how we're doing it today. All right, we're getting that mixed up there pretty well. Oh, I forgot. This is our bowl of, this is a half a teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of white sugar, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of onion powder, and then we got one more ingredient after this. I'm going to go ahead and dump all that in there. And we'll do a little more mixing. This is already smelling good. Just mixing all these ingredients up. All right, so I think we're about ready to incorporate all of that into our macaroni. All right, so we are ready to add the wet mixture into our macaroni. We're just gonna put it all in there. If y'all can hear me sniffling, I've still got these allergies going on today, and been going on for about 2 weeks now, and I can't get rid of the allergies. I take allergy meds and doesn't seem to do a bit of good. All right, so we got all of our ingredients in there. Now the next thing is just stirring everything up and getting it all down into the bottom. And now, again, the thing about this is that, as I always tell y'all, you know, once you get it made, you got to taste it and see what it tastes like. And if it tastes good to you, then, you know, nothing else you got to do to it. But, you know, if you think it needs a little more salt or a little more sugar or a little more mustard or a little more mayonnaise, whatever you think, you just add some to it. All right. And now this is one of those steps that is part of Audrey's twisted macaroni salad. Now, if I was making it, this is probably where I would have stopped at, but this is her recipe. So we're going to do something a little special here that probably nobody's ever thought about. We're going to take a half a cup of grated Parmesan cheese, and we're going to put that in there, and then we're going to stir that up some more. And then we're going to do one more thing to it. But get that Parmesan cheese all incorporated in there. This is one of the ingredients that nobody ever figured out at the restaurant that we put in our macaroni salad. Everybody thought it was really good, but they didn't have a clue what that one special ingredient was that we put in there. But it is the Parmesan cheese. Now I'll put that cheese in there, and that smells so good. All right, so now that is how we served it in the restaurant. You know, you gotta let it chill, and then once it chills, it's ready to be served. Now, as I say, that's how we served it in the restaurant. Now I'm gonna do a little something more to mine, just because this is something I like. Now, we didn't do this in the restaurant because a lot of people don't like this in anything, but I do. So we got some chopped up boiled egg. Now I'm gonna just dump that boiled egg in there. It's not a lot. It was two eggs is all that it was. Um, you can put more of that or not put any at all, or just however you want to make it. But I just like a little bit of an egg. Audrey says that makes it a devil macaroni salad by putting that egg and the egg yellow and everything in there. And I guess you could call it that. But to me, it just makes it really good. All right, so that is pretty much everything that you got to do to this other than refrigerate it. So, and like I say, after it sits in the refrigerator for a little while, it's really best to make this the day before. That way it gives the time for all your flavors to marry into each other and all the flavors to come through so you taste it. But again, like I say, before you serve it, taste it. See if there's anything else you think you need to do to it. If you think it tastes good, then let it go like it is. If you think it needs a little more of something, add it to it. It's no big deal. So we got the macaroni salad made. As I said, you got to put it in the refrigerator and let it chill. Best to let it chill overnight because those flavors will marry in with everything, all the onions and all the stuff we put in it, and it's going to just be so much better the next day than it is right now. Remember, I am going to put your recipe and your directions in the description on the video, so you can just look at that and follow down through it, and you don't have to worry about going back and trying to listen to what I said or anything. You can just follow those directions straight down the list. But we are going to try this now. As I say, I know it's not going to be as good as it will be tomorrow, but I still want to give it a good try. So we got us some on the spoon there, and let's give it a shot. Mm. That is really, really good for it to have been just made. But as I say, it will be better tomorrow after it's had time to sit. So I'm looking forward to being able to have some for tomorrow, and hope y'all will try this recipe. As I said, it's really a great macaroni salad recipe. And as I tell y'all all the time, I think your family will love it if you make it for them. So y'all have a good one. Remember, hit that like and subscribe button. And we'll see y'all on the next round. Thanks for watching.